That's right. We have a lot going on. It's been a busy Friday here in the Weather Center, tracking the heavy rain earlier and, of course, the new tropical depression, if you haven't been watching earlier today, sitting off the North Carolina coast. So let's get right to it, show you what's going on with radar. Not nearly as much rain as we saw earlier today when the map was just filled with lots of yellows and reds with the heavy rain. Here's a loop over the past 6 hours, and we saw that heavy rain that was moving through parts of Hampton Roads, but now we're seeing just a few showers showing up across parts of Suffolk right now. Mainly just some light to moderate rain. North of Norfolk, a little bit of a shower. Same thing over towards the ocean front. So we zoom in a little bit closer here to Suffolk. If you're watching at the top of the broadcast, we had some yellows showing up. So this storm really just starting to rain itself out. And then off towards the north, we've got this next line that is stretched from the northern neck through parts of the Middle Peninsula, Gloucester County, back north of Barnesville, Cohoe. That is sliding towards the southeast as well, so there could be a rumble of thunder in a few of our northern spots as we go through the overnight. And Futurecast bears that out with a line of showers off towards the north, slowly sliding southward. And by tomorrow morning, looking at a few showers around. Temperatures in the 60s, and watch what happens as we go through the morning. Still a few showers. Those winds pick up out of the northeast, at times gusting over 25 to 30 miles per hour. And temperatures hold in the 70s with some late day clearing. So the exception might be the Outer Banks of North Carolina, where some clouds will linger, all because of that tropical depression that's sitting off the coast. Same thing through Saturday evening, partly cloudy to mainly clear skies towards the north, more clouds down through the Outer Banks and a few showers, and those northeast breezes continue right into the day on Sunday. Notice a few of those showers around Kill Devil Hills, still possible even into Sunday. For the rest of us, partly to mostly sunny skies and temperatures again in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So now here's the latest on our tropical depression. It is tropical depression number 3, not looking all that well organized, has winds of 30 miles per hour right now, located 195 miles south-southeast of Cape Hatteras, just drifting to the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour, and it's just going to linger there for a few days. It's sitting over those warmer Gulf Stream waters, so the potential is there for some intensification and developing by tomorrow evening into a tropical storm. It will be Tropical Storm Chris, and potentially by Tuesday into a hurricane. But it looks like that most of the gusty winds will be on the east side of the system. So right now, no advisories posted for the Outer Banks of North Carolina as far as hurricane or tropical storm watches or warnings. But we are concerned about some of the gusty winds that we could see with this system. Right now, we've got the cloudy skies. Temperature coming in at 78 degrees. Winds are calm. Temperatures are in the 70s. Temperatures as we go through the overnight hours will drop down into the low 70s with some scattered showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm, turning breezy. 79 tomorrow. Mainly morning showers, breezy and cooler, than 69 tomorrow night. Partly cloudy skies, and 82 on Sunday, partly sunny and breezy. Nice for early July. And the 7-day forecast, mostly sunny skies on Monday, 84, and then temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Another chance of some showers by the end of the week. Now, we are watching those water levels. They might be up a little bit, and we're looking at some gusty winds and likely looking at stronger than normal rip currents and some issues with red flags up as well.
Suddenly it got interesting.
Yes, it did.
All right, thanks.